So it folds a little bit cringy. Ooh, I'm about to DNF a book for this vlog. I think it's gonna make my top books of the year. Is this gonna be in my top books of 2023? Hello and welcome back to the chaos that is Shani and books. Today I'm going to be starting a fun experiment video. Hopefully it's fun, but I'm going to be reading books that have been picked for me by a paid book expert, a paid book picker expert, TBR expert, I don't know what to call it. And this is definitely not a new concept. It has been done before by Kayla from Booksandlala. I saw do it first, and I've also seen Jack Edwards do this. I think they both probably did it years ago. But I was recently gifted, very kindly, a round of recommendations from this website from a follower named Vapu. I'm just now realizing I have never said their name out loud, so I don't know how to pronounce it. But they had messaged me after a video I did, and we had been talking. We've now buddy read a couple of books together, and then they very kindly gifted me a round of recommendations because they've been using this service for 2 years. If you haven't seen the other videos that I talked about, the website is Tailored Book Recommendations. Makes the acronym TBR, which is very clever. But yes, I'm going to be starting that today because I just got the message to say my recommendations are in. I didn't film me filling in the form because I was very stressed about trying to convey my reading taste with whichever favorite books I was picking. But basically you fill in a form, your favorite books, your favorite genres, things you like in books, things you don't like in books. And then each quarter, a TBR expert will recommend you 3 books to read based on your reading taste. So I'm going to open the email now, but thank you so much again, Vapu. I still don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm so sorry. But yeah, thank you for being so kind as to gift me this experience and enable me to do this video. All right, let's see if I can get the email open. That should be ready. All right, here we go. Here is the email. Ready the confetti cannon and brace your bookshelves. Your TBR selections are ready. Oh, it's going to open in a new window now. Your bibliologist has searched the shelves and selected 3 awesome new additions to your TBR. Open the letter and get ready to get reading. Why am I nervous? Why am I nervous? Recommendation letter. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, we're straight into it. Welcome to TBR. We're honored that you are trusting us with your bookshelves. We have so many beloved books in common. Oh, I forgot this is like personalized. I'm getting stressed. I was thrilled to see you loved Our Wives Under the Sea. Yes, okay, put that one as a specific one because I wanted more stuff like that. Okay, A Master of Gin. I've never heard of that. If you're interested in queer historical fantasy set in other countries, I think this one with a mystery plot is a great choice for you. Half a century ago, the legendary, don't know how to say that name, but I'll find out when I read it, broke the barrier between the magical and non-magical worlds. Now in 1912 Cairo, a mysterious figure claiming... Okay, this one stresses me out. I went out of my comfort zone a little bit with my recommendations. Oh my gosh, I've never heard of any of these books. This is so exciting. I've never heard of any of these books. The Center, another author name I don't know how to say. I need to look these authors up. Horror with unique perspectives. Desperately wants to move out of her Pakistani parents' home and leave her job. Oh my gosh. Bollywood movies behind to translate series. Okay, this... I'm so excited. And I don't even know how to say this name. Someone and Chris plan a wedding. Okay, I need to look up the pronunciation so I can do the rest of this video properly. But more sapphic romances with BIPOC characters, and this one is a total delight. Has been looking for a way to come out to their family. Chris dreams of being an influencer. Both of their goals lead them to Instant I Do, a reality TV show where they can win lots of money if they can convince their loved ones they're engaged and plan a big wedding in 6 weeks. That sounds so much fun. I personally love this romance with a completely absurd premise. Love that. And the reality show in this one, which is somehow filmed while the book rarely mentions cameras or producers, question mark, okay, is bananas. So this is a silly goofy time, which I'm very... I got a bonus rec? Wait, I didn't even finish my sentence. What? Bonus rec, I know you're not a huge YA fan, but if you're willing to give one a shot, I think We Deserve Monuments. Never heard of it. Is right up your alley. A queer biracial teen whose family moves to a small Georgia town to care for her dying grandmother. Okay, oh my gosh, and I really love that they include the content warnings. I put like harm to children and miscarriages in my like trigger thing. That is so nice and considerate. I forgot how personalized this is. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. There's my 3 books. And plus the bonus. I got a bonus book that is so nice. Oh my gosh. Okay. I need to try and access these books. Where can I get these books? A Master of Gin. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I'm very excited for this wedding one the most. The other two make me very nervous, like very, very nervous. I need to get onto these books now because I need to know if I want to like resubscribe for another quarter after this. But oh my god, I forgot the name. Susie. Happy reading from Susie. Thank you, Susie. I want to see who Susie is. Let me look at the bibliologist. Also, what a fun job is like choosing personalized book recommendations for people. Oh my god, there's so many and my computer is not loading them all. Susie, this is the person. I'm assuming there's only one Susie. Okay, hang on. I want to see Desert Island Reads. I'm guessing the only books you can take. Oh my gosh, okay. Homegoing, no, but I've read a different book by this author. In the Dream House, that's a 5-star prediction for me. Okay, I haven't read any of the others, so I wonder if our tastes align. Sour Gummy Bears, love it. Wonderful. Oh my gosh, there's so many people in this list. What a cool job. How do we get this job? Okay, I'm flustered. I guess I'll come back once I've read a book. I'm so excited. Ooh, I'm about to DNF a book for this vlog. Not a good start, but I did start reading A Master of Gin, which was the fantasy recommendation. And I'll be honest, I think I went a little too far out of my comfort zone with the request for the fantasy. I've been a little bit in my fantasy era lately, so I decided to branch out and put fantasy on my form, but I think I made an error. And I do not blame the recommender for this book because I think that based on what I told them, it is a good recommendation, but I don't want to finish reading it because I know I'm not going to rate it highly. So it's like, it's not fair to the book. It's not fair to the book. It's for someone, but it's not me. I think when requesting fantasy, I should have focused more on things like legends and lattes. And I was reading this book when I was filling out the form, but I hadn't finished it, so I didn't include it on the form. But I think this is more what I should have tried to get. But because I had only just finished reading... Okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to be chaotic for a moment here because I've had to edit this clip. I filmed the original clip like a month or two ago, and the book that I am holding up in the clip has to actually be edited out because in the US it is published through a publisher, which is St. Martin's Press, and it's imprints that influencers are kind of doing a boycott for at the moment due to some Islamophobic and racist things that an employee said publicly. The publisher has been questioned about it and they have not yet said that they do not support that sort of racist comments. And we want to support our Muslim and BIPOC creators, writers, readers, and make sure that they feel safe and welcome in all communities. And we do not want the racism that one employee holds to bleed into the workplace and affect everyone who interacts with the books or the publisher or anything, if that makes any sense. I'll leave links below, but we're basically not talking about books that are published through St. Martin's Press at the moment. So I'm going to have to blur the book out, but I was basically saying it is a historical fantasy that I had just finished reading at the time of filling out the form. So that's why I included historical fantasy as things I wanted to try, but unfortunately I'm not able to give you this example as things that I like because the publisher has not come out and said that they are in fact not racist. The historical fantasy that they recommended me is kind of in line with what I was asking for. I'd also asked for books that were set in other countries, but I think I should have specified that I wanted that with realistic fiction. I don't want fantasy set in other countries because I'm just getting confused. I want fantasy that is really, really simple and easy to follow, and this isn't really that, but it's young adult. And I just feel like these are cozier, easier to follow, and this is just way more high fantasy than I should be picking up. So I take full responsibility. It is my fault that this book did not work for me, and I'm gonna have to go and edit my form for if I'm gonna do another round of recommendations because I don't think that I want fantasy that is like this. But I am glad that we know now, I can confirm, this is really not the fantasy that I am after, I don't think. The book did absolutely nothing wrong. I am just already seeing my eyes glaze over while I'm reading it. So that's totally my fault, not the fault of the recommender. So I apologize, Susie, but I read the first couple of chapters of this and I just know that if I read the whole thing, I'm just gonna be wasting my time reading it because I know it's not going to be read to its full potential. Like, my eyes are glazing over already. So if you do enjoy historical fantasy set in another country, this will be for you. S.A. Chakraborty blurbed it on the front. So I feel like if you like S.A. Chakraborty, here you go. this book will be for you, but I am going to put it down because I would rather spend my time reading things that I think I will enjoy. And now I think I'm in the mood for a romance. So I'm going to pick up the romance because my library haul just came in for Devon and Chris Plan a Wedding. I've already forgotten the title, but I'm going to pick that one up. And I think that I'm probably going to have more success for that one because it is a fun, silly, goofy time. It's about weddings. It's about a reality TV show. So I think I'm going to have more fun with that. So apologies that this video is off to a not great start with the DNF, but I'm not DNFing because it's a bad book. It's just not. Like, I made a mistake. It was my mistake. I'm at the 50% mark of Devon and Chris Plan a Wedding. That's the title, right? I have the ebook and so far I am enjoying it. It's definitely like a silly, fun romance with like serious topics sprinkled in, but the whole premise of the book is really, you really have to kind of like take reality out of it to get on board with the whole storyline. They are basically on this TV show. I don't know if they've said the name of the show, but the idea of the show is that these people are going to be paired together and they have to tell their family and friends that this other person that they're teamed with is their fiance and they're getting married in 6 weeks and they have to plan a wedding in 6 weeks. And their family aren't allowed to know that it's for this TV show. They're not allowed to know that it's fake. And I guess whoever convinces, I don't know how they pick the winner. Like, I'm kind of, the idea of the show is like kind of fuzzy to me. But one of the couples wins. I'm assuming it's like whoever's family doesn't figure it out, or I don't know. Anyway, they're on this TV show and that is kind of like, and I know that my book recommender did say in the email that it didn't make a whole lot of sense because like cameras were being mentioned, and cameras are being mentioned, but I'm just confused because like there are cameras, but how are they explaining it to their family that there's cameras? And there was this one scene where they were going into a church and they told the cameras like, oh, you can't go in the church, you have to stay outside. But wouldn't the person's family see these cameras and be like, what's going on with the cameras? And one family member did bring it up, and then they played it off because one of the women has a big social media following. So they were like, oh, she has a lot of social media followers, so they're coming to like document her about whatever. But like, it doesn't make sense. Like, the families would know instantly that something was going on. And if the cameras aren't there, then like, where's the whole point of the TV show? Like, they're not capturing them telling the family in order to trick the family. Like, I don't know if I'm making sense, but the book's not making sense. Like, the whole idea of the TV show, it just doesn't make sense. Because either the cameras are there for all these moments where they reveal it to their family, and then the family would be confused about why cameras are filming this moment, or the cameras aren't there while they're telling their family, and then there's no TV show because we're not getting to see them telling their family. That's the whole point, is that they're trying to trick their family and not let their family know. But the cameras being there means the family knows. Like, it doesn't really make any sense. So putting aside that whole aspect, it is kind of insta-lovey, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I am still enjoying it. I do think some of the dialogue between the characters is a little cringy for me, but I am very specific with my romance. But I am enjoying it. One of the characters was not out to her family, so there was this whole part of the storyline where she's coming out to her family and the other woman is supporting her, and there were some really great conversations around that. Obviously I'm not going to spoil it, but she was kind of not super happy with how her mother reacted to finding out that she was a lesbian. And then there was this whole dialogue around, I don't know, kind of like being grateful that her mum didn't just instantly like disown her. The main character was kind of had this whole conversation about the fact that the mother is not the victim in this. And like, she shouldn't have to be grateful that her mother didn't instantly disown her own child. There's also a lot of great discussions on race happening. One of the main characters is also a plus-sized woman, so there's that representation as well. I'm really excited to finish it. It's definitely a fun time, but I don't think it's going to be 5 stars. Unfortunately, I feel bad. But depending on what happens, it could still be a high rating. It's just like the whole concept of it, like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And like, I can read a story where like things are just, it is how it is, and we don't really need to have definitive answers for things, and things don't have to be completely logical and make sense. But when the whole premise is a story about this show, but the whole show, like, there's no, it doesn't make sense. That kind of like, I'm like, what's going on? Okay, I did finish reading the remainder of Devon and Chris Plan a Wedding, and my thoughts don't really change from the last time that I updated. I did enjoy it. I don't know what I'm gonna rate it. 3, 3.5, 4, somewhere there. Okay, I've been interrupted like 10 times. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it, but it's not a 5-star read simply because the whole theme of the TV show just was not, it just felt like it wasn't thought through, and it just made no sense, and like it just seemed to contradict itself because there was no, like, I don't know, it just felt like it was kind of thrown in there to have like some sort of gimmick around why they were having to be paired together, but then the actual TV show wasn't really thought through, in my opinion, personally. Like, it didn't really make sense. The whole point they were together is because they were paired up to try and trick their families into believing that they were engaged, but I felt like the TV show was just thrown in there so they have a reason to instantly be together in this fake relationship. Like, it just didn't make sense, basically, to me. And the only other reason is it was a little bit cringy at times. There was one part that I highlighted. The quote was, "All I wanted to do was dig my fingers into the round globes inside those shorts all afternoon." I'm gonna be honest, I've never heard of someone's bum be referred to as round globes, and I don't think I like it. So it felt a little bit cringy. Ooh. But yeah, other than that, it was really fun and a lot of great diversity, like I've already stated. I'm not gonna go over that again because I'm just repeating myself now, but I'm onto the last book. Well, I'm onto the third book, but we do also have the bonus book as an option, so. Okay, I think we have a 5-star. So yes, I have Christmas and Halloween stuff still up. That's embarrassing, but I just finished reading last night The Center, and I loved this. This is exactly the type of book I like. I feel like this is classified as horror, but it's more like a literary fiction cross horror. So let me tell you what it's about. We are following this woman. She is a Pakistani woman and she's living in the UK. Is it a UK book? Now I can't even remember where she is. Anyway, point of the story is she meets this man and he can already speak a couple of languages. She tries to teach him, hang on, I need to look up the pronunciation because I just realized I read the ebook, so I don't know how it's said. Would help if I had the sound on my phone up. My God.
Urdu.
Urdu. Okay, that's how I thought, but I didn't know if like how it's written is how it's pronounced. Anyway, she tries to teach him Urdu, which is obviously the language that she would speak in Pakistan. And he's not really picking it up, anything she's saying. And then they are going to visit her parents in Pakistan and her family. And all of a sudden he drops the bomb on her that he can speak it fluently. And so she's like, when did you learn to speak this language? Like, could you speak it the whole time and you were just like playing dumb? And he's like, no, I learned it for you. She's like, how did you learn it so fast? Like, you can speak it better than me all of a sudden. And so he ends up telling her that he goes to this place called the Center where he is able to learn languages really, really fast. And it's really secretive. Like, you cannot tell anyone. You're only allowed to tell one person in the entire world about it. And then that's your one person used up. You're allowed to like tell the one person to recommend them to be able to go to the center, and no one else is allowed to go there. You have to be recommended by someone. So it's giving very much cult vibes. And so now she's intrigued. She wants to go to the center, and her job is that she translates books. And she's like, oh my God, that would be so perfect. Like, I can learn a new language and then that will allow me to translate more literature into different languages. So she wants to go to the center. And obviously I cannot spoil you what happens at the center, but it's like really weird and crazy, and I think it's gonna make my top books of the year. Is this gonna be in my top books of 2023? I really, really liked it. I'm so happy that we got a success out of this video. The last book that I have is like the bonus rec, which was the young adult one, which wasn't one of my official 3 picks, but given that I DNF'd the book at the beginning, I'm going to add on the bonus rec into this video. So let's round it off with that. Okay, I finished reading We Deserve Monuments, following this main character who is going to be staying with her grandmother on her mother's side, who she has barely seen in her life. I think they mentioned that she has visited like once when she was 5 and she hasn't been since. Her mum did not really speak to the grandmother much in her whole life. They had a bit of a falling out. There is lots of discussion about racism and generational trauma, as well as sexuality, because the main character talks about her relationships with women, and it is a young adult book, so I obviously want to go into my review through the eyes of the fact that I'm actually not the target audience for this. But we do almost get a sex scene, which I don't really like in young adult books. It's not really a full scene, it's just like a mention, and it was even too close for me because I don't think adults should be writing sex scenes about teenagers, in my opinion. I think kissing is as far as that should really go. But I did really enjoy this book more than I usually enjoy young adult books because I guess it does deal with darker themes. Did I even finish talking about what it was about? Yeah, they're going to visit the grandmother for the first time because she is very ill. So there's lots of uncovering the past of the relationship between the mother and the grandmother, uncovering the past between what happened to her grandfather. And yeah, books like these are great for teenagers who are within the age range who are interested in these topics. I unfortunately am just outside that age range, but I didn't dislike it. I just think that it is going to be a lot harder for a young adult book to become an all-time favorite for me. But I definitely appreciate everything that it did, and I would recommend it if you are either in that age range or you read a lot from the young adult style of books. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it like 4 stars. I don't know, it's hard to know a rating when the book wasn't really for me, but I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, I just went to import the final clip for this vlog and there was absolutely no sound. Because of course there wasn't. Why would something just go smoothly and work for me? I don't know. I'm having a day. But to wrap up this vlog, this was a very fun reading experiment. I'm super glad that I ended up doing it. Thank you again to Vapu for gifting me the round of recommendations. Do I think I'm going to stay subscribed for another round? I think maybe. I do think that I want to edit my choices though, because I will admit it was probably my mistake being so adventurous as asking for a fantasy. I think because I was making my way through Cassandra Clare books and I just read The Infernal Devices, and that is a historical fantasy and it was my favorite of the Cassandra Clare books. But I feel like that's a lot more easy to understand. So it's my fault for the way I filled in the form, because I definitely did want books set in other countries, but I think I should have specified that I wanted that for realistic fiction, and then fantasy I needed like beginner fantasy. So I think, I don't know, if I request a fantasy again, I think I will try and specify that. If you know of any cozy fantasies that you think I would like, let me know, because I do want to read more. So that's why I might do another recommendation with that, because I want to find some that I like. And I do think I have the ability to like some, but unfortunately the one that I received was not it for me personally. What is funny though is that after I had DNF'd that book, I actually got recommended it again by D. His channel is Don't Fret Read Books. I think he renamed it now. I had asked for sapphic book recommendations and it was so funny that that is the book that he recommended to me. So maybe in the future I will try it again. I was discussing with Vapu because they did ask me what I ended up getting recommended after I signed up with their link. And they did say that A Master of Jinn is not really a beginner friendly fantasy. They also said that I might like some of this author's other books. They have some novellas that they had recommended me, so I might try that. I also did see that this author has a middle grade book and a horror that I have seen the cover. I've seen other people reading that book. So maybe I'll try some of that author's other books. But I would call this a success because I had a romance that was a little cringy, but it was still enjoyable. And then obviously the big winner was The Center, which was absolutely perfect. I think that I'm really understanding my reading taste, and I think that literary horror like that is definitely the type of books that I will continue to pick up in future. I definitely did not consider myself a horror girly, but I think it was because I didn't really understand horror. Like I just thought I don't want scary things, but I did not realize that literary horror or like soft horror, light horror was a thing, and I really loved The Center, and I think it might even be in my top books of the year. I don't know, I'm still deciding. But yes, let me know if you have tried this service before or if you are interested in trying this service. I will obviously leave the website linked down below. It's really fun getting personalized recommendations. I'm gonna go and edit my profile so I can maybe get some more accurate ones next time and maybe get 3 5 stars instead of 1. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, and thank you so much if you've made it to the end of this vlog, and I'll see you next time.